Hey, welcome to RandomNet, where we dive into the randomness of internet. And one of the best things I love about this is the mystery, because I don't know what platform I'm gonna land on or what topics I'm gonna be diving into. So it's always fun, always something new to learn, and at the very least, it's entertaining for me. So why not? Let's get started. So the rules are simple. I'm gonna just click to spin this wheel, and then wherever it lands, we're gonna dive into that platform and just go from there. And so far, I've done streaming on each of these platforms. So check out my past videos, and uh, and and I'm kind of looking forward to see which platform we land onto. But if I have to pick for today, I would say I wanna land on Wikipedia. Let's see if we gonna if we gonna if we gonna go there. Twitter, all right, Twitter, you win. Oh no, Reddit! Wow, that was a close call. Reddit. Look at you winning in the last second. Woo, Trump tax returns. Let's check that out. Trump's tax returns released by a House committee after years of legal battle. Okay. I got asked about Trump's tax returns, got his response. Who is the CF Diet Coke? All right. None. No one cares about anyone's taxes from 6 years ago. It's just part of the endless promotional campaign Democrats are running on behalf of Trump. They desperately need to keep him in the news because Trump is the primary revenue generation mechanism for the Democratic Party and the primary scapegoat for Democratic failure they used to keep their cult voting for them, and has been since 2016. They literally need Trump to survive. Without him, the Democratic Party would crumble under the weight of its failures and die. At this point, I'm convinced Donald Trump has to be the cleanest motherfucker on the planet. Hundreds of millions of dollars and millions of man hours have been spent investigating him. The FBI raided his home. We had a 4 year long Mueller investigation, the endless congressional Jan 6 hearing, prosecutor after prosecutor screaming they are going to get him for whatever reason they can make up. And nothing. Zero charges filed, zero indictments, zero arrest. It's absolutely astounding. I don't know how anyone gets investigated that much by that many people over that long of a time and results in zero charges. Well, here's the thing. One of the reasons why he got no charges is because of the broken system, and that's this whole rant is about, right? Like, first of all, this dude, I'm assuming it's dude because clearly their point of view are um, reflect the majority men in this country, right? So at first they say like Democratic Party is broken and they are endlessly promoting or targeting Trump. Okay, let's just say we buy into that premise, right? And then you say that Trump could be the cleanest fucker because no one indicted him, no one charged any um, you know uh, anything against him. But that's not true. He has been indicted and he's been charged plenty of times in plenty of cases. Like just recently in New York, he just pleaded Fifth Amendment for every single question he was asked. So it's not true. And on top of that, you can look at the past bankruptcies and also like the legal troubles Trump got into in the past, like because of Trump University and because of laundering. I shouldn't say laundering per se, but scamming his own supporters by taking the money as a campaign donation and just giving it away or writing it up to Stormy Daniels. So those are just a couple which come into my mind. But it's that's this whole play is about from Trump, because he knows that when you steal in open, people are confused and they don't know if you're stealing or what is happening, and this bystander effect kind of um, lead nowhere. And yes, the government and a lot of officials, and most of them, mind you, are Republicans, right? So they have this their own bias. They can, if they are not actively trying to prosecute their own side, they are at least trying to minimize the uh, the the amount of action it could lead to. That being said, I mean, there's still a lot of things to come out, and slowly and surely we'll know. And this whole thing about tax returns, it kind of tells you that Trump is well, for lack of better word, he's a moron for sure, but he's also very smart moron, which is, I know, conflicting, because he knows how to play his own people, right? So he knows that people like you will buy into anything he gonna throw at you. Even if he throws shit on your face, you're gonna lick it like it's chocolate. So that's the state you are in. And honestly, I don't give a shit about Trump. The only thing I care about are the policies and the effects of whatever he did when he was in office, and he does even today. So for instance, right now no one gives a shit about anything Trump says, but when he was on Twitter, everyone used to lose their mind. So you can see how people stop caring or giving shit about Trump ever since he was blocked or suspended from Twitter. But on the same side, you have to take a look at all the mess he have met, and someone have to clean it. And the way I see it, like Democratic Party, they are in this whole swamp, right? They on one end they have to clean all the mess made by the Republicans, and on the other end they are also you know corrupted to a lesser degree than Republicans, but they are also corrupted. So they have incentive to make sure that the system remain the way it does. And and there are no good answers here. That's why I'm just observing this whole um, uh, stream of events, because I feel that um, something something important or drastic gonna happen in the next few years, and I don't know what it gonna be, if it's gonna be positive or negative, or net positive or net negative. I don't know anything, but I could feel it, because the way uh, things are bubbling up, that it's gonna burst sooner or later. And when it does, how like who picks up, who kind of builds the next or whatever comes after that, that gonna be something to keep an eye on. And again, we are living in this timeline where everything is uncertain, and at the same time everything is done like um, uh, like Trump grew up in an era where media was like super limited, right? So and but he learned how to play media, the mainstream media, that is. He's masterful to a degree, even with the internet media, but that's because he knows that the mainstream media kind of like get triggered whenever he says something on internet on or on Twitter back in the day. So that's one of his boomer moment, I guess. But the next generation who are coming up, they know how to play or use the internet media. And one thing about internet is that people are driven with confirmational bias, and people like CF Diet Coke, who seems to be biased, favoring his favorite president, I guess. But also, there are people like me who are biased on the other side. Even though I would consider myself more rational and, um, make informed choices, but I'm not free from biases. I have my own experiences which kind of drive me in a particular direction, and I can feel the same from this particular person as well. But the conclusion here is clearly wrong. I mean, I don't know if they meant it like sarcastically, or if this was like one of the lame attempt to, protect their leader. But would be curious to see what comments other people say. I very much look forward to him being indicted, and then it turns to they are only indicting him for political reasons. They are just out to get Trump. Yes, that's correct. People who uphold the law are out to get the people that break it. That's exactly how this is supposed to work. But that's unfair, conservatives. You're hurting the wrong people, also conservatives. We don't hunt white people. MAGA 2020 to 4. We don't hurt gun toting racist white people. There are plenty of white liberals. MAGA 22 fucking long. Imagine thinking this is actually how it works. To be fair, this is supposed to. Even if the motivation was only political, you'd still need evidence of a real crime in order to get the conviction. In the end, it doesn't really matter why they're doing it so long as the trial is fair and accurate. Clinton planted the evidence and the FBI were in on it, and Fox News has proved that was being flown over, but Obama shot down the plane. I don't know, I want to believe this, but it needs more typos. That's a good roast. Gotta check this. It has an interesting username too. He truly fooled these rubes. Funny part is these are the same motherfuckers beating up commies in the 70s and 80s. Now they are disrespecting the only country to stand against the evil empire. Putin's a great man. He also studied foreign manipulation as a KGB agent. That thing is a flight risk. Yeah, if that day comes, so tired of hearing they have enough to indict, or we have evidence of such and such. It's all a joke until it actually happens. It definitely seems like that day is coming at this point. While Trump kind of had a get out of jail free card while he was president, that's no longer the case, and there is nothing to stop the special counsel from recommending charges. Well, good luck with that. I doubt it's gonna happen anytime soon. Yeah, it's hard for me to believe until it happens, considering. Oh, totally valid. And obviously, don't count chickens until they hatch. It doesn't happen until it happens. But these things are slow. The fact it hasn't happened yet isn't evidence it won't. You don't arrest a former president until you have all your motherfucking ducks in a row. No, it's a witch hunt. It's so weird that they keep finding witches. But I thought there was no such thing as witches. An indictment isn't that big a deal. It's not like he's been convinced yet. Nothing is ever going to convince him of anything. Who could have imagined that Trump using the full political weight of the office of the presidency, up to and including firing the attorney general, until he found one servile enough to protect him from all legal repercussions? Might have protected him from a bunch of legal repercussions? Certainly not. CF died here. Couldn't protect him from all of them, though, could it? 8 of his innermost circle in jail, mostly for attempting to illegally coordinate with a hostile foreign power. His org barred from running charities due to numerous scams, scamming children with cancer and veterans. Classy. Not to mention all the tax fraud New York just convicted it of, etc., etc. None of which this dumbass remembers because he's got the same mastery of object permanence one might expect from a golden retriever. Don't insult golden retriever like that. I like dogs. Trumplicans not so much. I think Goldens are lovely, but their house motto, if they were a house in a HBO fantasy adaptation, would be, I'm just happy to be here. Object permanence one might expect from a golden retriever. Fucking priceless. Alright, it's good with that. Well, roasted butt. We're gonna read your responses later. Putin took cancer drugs that warped his decision-making on Ukraine. Danish intel says, reviving disputed theories about his health. Moderator removed post from feeds for a variety of reasons. Okay, this post is removed, so let's switch back to something else. Moscow murders. Interesting as fuck. Andrew Tate official house raid. Wait, what? I don't know who Andrew Tate really is, but I've heard about him, but I have no idea who is, what he has done. But I recently saw a solid burn he got on Twitter from Greta Thunberg, so that was good to see. Wait, this Chinese worker working in the middle of a storm to restore power. Wow. Damn. See, people are living in so tough conditions. That was cool.
Mark it to easily detect any rotation, and then run a test for 20 seconds. The nut starts to loosen, and the graph shows clearly how tension drops dramatically within seconds when running the test. We then expose a plain washer.
Whoa. I know the washer will help.
A spring washer.
Tag. Maybe multiple nuts.
A check lock nut.
Shit.
A nylon insert nut. And a double nut. All these solutions have in common that they rely on friction to secure the bolted joint. As friction is not a reliable locking method, the bolts will need to be retightened at regular intervals to prevent costly downtime or, potentially, an accident. Other common solutions, such as tab washer, locking wire and adhesives, are seen as safe. However, repetitive tests show that their performance can vary significantly in maintaining clamp load. These solutions depend heavily on the operator. They often require special tooling, and they are time-consuming. Nord Lock is an innovative solution comprising two washers in a pair. This solution uses an effective principle: geometry. The cam inclination is greater than the pitch of the thread of the bolt. The Nord Lock washers create a wedge effect underneath the bolt head. This prevents any rotation in the nut. After the initial settlements, a high and stable clamp load still remains. A second test continues to show that no unintentional rotation occurs. No retightening will be required. Since the Nord Lock wedge locking system is not dependent on friction, it is also unaffected by lubrication. Disassembly is simple. We see the top washer override the bottom washer, causing an increase in load during untightening. This is proof of the principle. To properly verify the locking effect, we also check that we have clear impression marks on the nut and on the underlying surface.
That's nice. I love when people use physics and math to kind of solve problems. What's happening here? Andrew Tate? No sound? Shoot. Uh, Damn it. This this screen froze again. I don't know what to do with this. I don't know why OBS keep freezing the screen. All right. So, Andrew Tate official house raid footage. Let's actually go to that thread. Is this for real? Or are they making that up? Dude's house looked like side mission in GTA. Let me see if I can. BSIJ? I don't think this is his place. Let's see. Policia Romana. Gorilla made of money, or at least the outer layer. Who is this dude? All of these are his cars. I don't know why they blurred it out. They could have just blurred the number plate. Andrew Tate arrested in Romania on human trafficking charges. Wow. Romanian court extends detention of ex-kickboxer. Wow, let's see. NPR, enlighten us. What is happening here? Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate are escorted by police officers outside the headquarters of the Directorate for Investigating Organized Crime and Terrorism in Bucharest, Romania, on Thursday. Sports cars, a pizza box, Greta Thunberg, Romania, sex trafficking, and a highly controversial internet celebrity. If you have heard someone talking about any of these things this week, chances are you also wanted to ask them, who exactly is Andrew Tate? The man at the center of it all has long been a magnet for such a question. He's been described as the king of toxic masculinity, one of the internet's most controversial figures, and the top G. And in the latest news, Reuters and Romanian media outlet say he's been arrested on charges of human trafficking, rape, and forming an organized crime group. Let's dig into it. First, Here's a quick overview of Tate's rise to fame. Tate, a British citizen born in the US, first became an international name through his career as a kickboxer, winning several world titles. In 2016, he tried his hand at reality TV but was kicked off the British version of Big Brother over a video of him hitting a woman with a belt. Tate said the video was a total lie that had been edited to make him look bad. On social media, became a vocal supporter of former President Trump, of course, and was spotted around Washington, D.C. with prominent conspiracy theorists and on right wing talk shows like InfoWars. After styling himself as a self help influencer for men, he was banned from Twitter in 2017 for saying women should bear responsibility for being sexually assaulted. What? His Twitter account was reinstated this November after Elon Musk took ownership of the platform. So back on November 20th, he said, I've decided to fly into the failed state of California, walk into Twitter headquarters and tell Elon Musk he's a legend. On my way. At various points, Tate has been banned from YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for similar misogynistic remarks. Tate has said women belong in the home, shouldn't be allowed to drive a car, and are man's property. He said he prefers to date 18 and 19-year-old women because they are more impressionable. These days, Tate claims to be making millions and peddling his life philosophy to thousands through an online course and community called Hustlers University. For $49 a month, anyone can earn thousands per month through skills like copywriting and buying NFTs, plus recruiting others to the community for a commission fee. An ad for the course claims that Hustlers University has over 168,000 active students, some as young as 13. Well, I don't buy the ad, but even there, if there are 100,000 people paying $50 a month, damn. His polemic style is particularly popular among Gen Zers. One survey conducted by the investment bank Piper Sandler this fall found that Tate ranked as a favorite influencer among those under 18. An investigation from The Guardian discovered that hundreds of Hustler University members repackaged Tate clips on platforms like TikTok every day. This summer, while he was banned from top platforms, his name was searched more frequently than Donald Trump's or Kim Kardashian's. Why is everyone talking about Tate now? Tate and his brother, Tristan, were reportedly detained in Romania last Thursday evening on charges of human trafficking and rape. Romania's anti-organized crime agency released a statement saying 4 suspects, 2 British citizens and 2 Romanians, had recruited women into their scheme, then sexually exploited them by forcing them to perform in pornography with the intention of financial gain. The statement didn't name Tate directly, though an accompanying video of the arrest happened to show Tate, who's British, being led away in handcuffs. Romanian authorities and spokespeople for Tate have not responded to NPR's request for confirmation. Romanian media reports said Tate had been detained for questioning, and Reuters reported that it had confirmed the incident with Tate's lawyer. Okay, so what does Greta Thunberg have to do with it? Tate had already been in the public eye this week after picking a seemingly random Twitter fight with Thunberg, the 19-year-old climate activist. On Tuesday, he posted a photo of himself standing next to Bugatti, captioned by the text, "Hello, Greta Thunberg. I have 33 cars. Please provide your email address so I can send a complete list of my car collection and their respective enormous emissions." The next day, she tweeted back, "Yes, please do enlighten me. Email me at smalldickenergy@getalife.com. More than 3 million users liked the post. That was a solid burn, to be honest. Tate then posted a video of himself seated in a paneled room, wearing a Versace robe, smoking a cigar, describing Thunberg as a bitter slave of the Matrix. was trying to convince you to beg your government to tax you into poverty to stop the sun from being hot. What? Midway through the video, he gestures off camera, asking someone to bring him pizza. Make sure that these boxes are not recycled, he quips as he sets the 2 pie-carrying parcels down on the table so the blue and red branding of Jerry's Pizza is clearly visible to the camera. When the video of his alleged arrest began circling, some local and international journalists said that the boxes, which came from a local Romanian pie joint, were just the proof local authorities needed to confirm Tate was in the country. Several have since walked back that claim, saying that merely made an assumption. Romanian authorities haven't responded to NPR's request for more information. But that certainly didn't stop Thunberg herself from weighing in. This is what happens when you don't recycle your pizza boxes, she said. Well, that's funny. Tate, who moved to Romania 5 years ago, said in a YouTube video that 40% of his motivation for moving was because the police were less likely to look into sexual assault allegations. Local media reports, confirmed by various U.S. outlets, claim that Romanian police raided Tate's Romanian residence once earlier, on April 11th, after claims that an American woman was being held captive at the house. In their statement about the latest raids, Romanian authorities said the suspects would be detained for 24 hours for questioning. On Friday morning, Tate appeared to tweet about the incident, using a reference to The Matrix that's become a signature of his Hustlers University philosophy. The Matrix sent their agents. The Associated Press reported Bucharest judge extended Tate's arrest warrant by 30 days. He'll be held in detention while authorities investigate, but the decision could be appealed at any time, said a spokesperson for the Romanian Anti-Crime Agency. Wow. All right, let's check out what Yahoo have to say. Greta Thunberg's response to Andrew Tate getting arrested is one for the history books. Twitter has been pretty fun for the past 24 hours, all thanks to Greta Thunberg. It all started with misogynistic internet personality Andrew Tate making a random swipe at Greta. In case you didn't know, Andrew Tate was banned from Twitter in 2017 for hate speech. He was recently allowed back on the platform because of the new changes Elon Musk made. He took his opportunity to tweet at climate activist Greta Thunberg about owning 33 cars. People on Twitter collectively lost their minds over her reply. That was a solid reply, by the way. Yep, George Conway. This may well be the greatest tweet of all time. So, this is his follow-up video, right? Thank you for confirming via your email address that you have a small penis. Greta, the world was curious. And I do agree you should get a life.
Releasing greenhouse gases. I'm obviously a stranger to online controversies, not something I often do. But now, the mainstream press is commenting on the fact that I was informing Greta that my very extensive car collection with internal combustion engines which run on dead dinosaurs had an enormous emission profile. And she replied by telling me her own email address. Greta's email address is, I have small dick energy. Why would that be your own email address, Greta? Strange.
Tate, you lost it, bro. You clearly lost it. I mean, you got a solid burn. Everyone knows. You're trying to save your face, of course, but not landing.
I mean, also, I don't want to assume her gender. It's 50-50, but it is what it is. I'm not actually mad at Greta. Please bring me pizza and make sure that these boxes are not recycled. Thank you. So, I'm not actually mad at Greta, right? Because she doesn't realize she's been programmed. She doesn't realize she's a slave of the Matrix. She thinks she's doing good. Someone has sat her down and convinced her to try and convince you, to beg your government, to tax you into poverty, to stop the sun from being hot. And then, because I call her out on it, the global matrix got this bot farm to like and retweet and all this bot commenting to try and pretend that her telling me that she has a small dick in her own email address somehow teaches me else.
All right, so now it feels like, dude, you do have a small dick energy. Come on, like, you lost it. Just take it and take it graciously. But now you became butt square of the joke, I guess.
Welcome to a new episode of the Time Show. But now I know at least that Greta, with a little hate-filled face, bitter, sitting somewhere without heating on, in the cold, a little half shivering, views my tweets, which is going to make my Twitter account far more fun into eternity.
But there's something in this video that Andrew is probably regretting. The pizza box. The pizza box is from a Romanian chain of restaurant. That box apparently allowed police to locate him, and he and his brother were arrested on human trafficking charges. But that's not all. Greta got the last word with her response to the arrest. This is what happens when you don't recycle your pizza boxes. I think this tweet from George Takai sums it up best. So, Elon Musk let Andrew Tate back on Twitter, and Tate promptly used it to reveal his whereabouts to authorities in Romania, who then arrested him. All because Greta Thunberg owned him so hard his little wee fell off. Do I have that right? Please say I have that right. Greta cut his carbon footprint by 99.999. Well, that's a fun story. I mean, well, I don't know anything about it, so I don't want to project. But clearly, his personality seems to be following the same mantra. Grift over the vulnerables, because looking from what I know so far, he's been actively sexually assaulting. Again, I don't know. I'm saying allegedly sexually assaulting as recently as within the past couple of years or something. And on top of that, clearly he knows where to pivot, and that's why he was pivoting to the right. And this is where it becomes kind of fascinating to look at the things from a bird eye view, right? Because on one end, we got people like Elon Musk, who thinks that they are standing up for free speech, but in reality, they're doing shit. Once Elon got Twitter, the first thing he started doing was making these crazy voices come back, which I think is okay. I'm not opposed to bringing back people on the platform who were who were banned or suspended at some point, and give them maybe a second chance or something. So I understand that. But Elon was banning people who was anti him, and that kind of throws off everything about the First Amendment he was talking about. So it's a money making grift, and I'm surprised that Elon grifted or shifted to the right after he became the most richest person on the earth. So, or at least legally, or at least we know of. But I think a lot of that pivot is because of some shit he have done. I wouldn't be surprised if he did some shit and people, or at least people at high places, have something on him, and now his only play is to kind of cozy up to the right and lick their walls. Or it could be even the business switch, right? Because now that he wanted to sell his cyber trucks and other things which the targeted market are the people on the right side of the political spectrum for some reason. I don't know why, but maybe that's his whole niche, to have like acquire like a new market where people from the right who have more money than people from the left, like relatively speaking. And if you could get them on the Tesla road and the other ventures he does, then you're gonna make more money out of it. So could be either, could be none, could be like maybe he's going through some shit. Who knows? But regardless, it was sort of good thing to have this asshole back on Twitter, because then he kind of revealed his assholery, and that kind of led to his arrest eventually. But it is fascinating to see the shifts in the culture um, and people, like especially when it comes down to people like Elon Musk and few others. It's like, okay, maybe they become too rich, too powerful, too um, famous too soon. Like maybe they didn't earn it. Like especially for sure, Elon Musk deserved to be one of the richest person, because he have tremendously changed and revolutionized a lot of industries, right? But I don't think he deserved to be famous per se. Like, because I mean, a lot of people appreciate his nuances and his thoughts about you know different things, I guess. And right now, I feel that one of the things Elon crave for is this fame, and that's why um, all this toxicity is bubbling up. Because if he was always, well, he was always famous, kind of, but not to a level where he's today. In the sense, like, he became more famous in the past few years than he was, like, for the past decade or whatever. And that, again, I have nothing, right? I don't have any money, I don't have any power, I don't have any fame. So I am not the right medium to say this, but I'm just analyzing the things, because clearly these three are the deadful combo, and people who can balance these three out have like a better way navigating through life, in at least my opinion. And people who let any of these three things kind of take over them, they tend to be either too greedy or too power hungry, or too um, like, or would do anything to get that love or fame from people, too needy. And my goal is to kind of like balance it out in my life, and get to a place where I can where I have all three of them in a healthy quantity. I don't want excess of anything. All right, let's jump back here. Let's Reddit have like a lot of fun trollers, so I love going through some of these comments. So Tane W231 says, like a 13-year-old who's just watching Scarface for the first time. He is 13. I just watched a video he put out trying to look cool, where it's all about women looking paid to wake up in his bed, and then him showing off his nunchuck skills on a boat. He's extraordinarily immature. Social media amplifies the most divisive, irritating voices. Being an item of ridicule people laugh at. Spouting the most offensive things possible really gets you attention and hits those algorithms' sweet spots. You don't want people like what you say, you want 70 to 80% of them pointing and laughing at you or outraged by your behavior. Today's new age celebrities are all hyper dramatic, immature man and women childs. If they were saying sensible things, they wouldn't become that famous. Social media has created a big problem for society, as these are an entire generation's idols. Fuck with drama queens. Been thinking about this a lot, and you one worded it perfectly. It really has become a cancer in the society. Yeah, I think we gotta drastically change the way social media act. And I'm prototyping this new model of social media, and I'm not even close to kind of show what that is. But the way I envision next generation of social media, it's not going to be like a clusterfuck as Twitter or any other social media is. I want to create a media, social media, which has like different categories and or different echo chambers or bubbles, if you will, and you get to choose what type of content you want to consume. So unlike that concept, I guess, like today when you go on Twitter, you're gonna be reading like a amazing insightful tweet one moment, and the next tweet could be like the most shittiest worst thing ever, or the next tweet could be like childish, immature, and so on, right? So you get this combination of different tweets, and it takes you on this roller coaster ride. And if you don't know, most of the people, counting myself as one of them as well, tend to focus on the negative aspect than on the positive aspect. So if you're seeing or reading some insightful business tips, right, how to scale up your business, and the second you finish it, then the next thread is something about like some crazy political thing, and then you went through that, and then you'd be focused on like the negative side, because you want to make sure that your family and your um, things you care about are secured and whatnot, and that drives most of the people's attention, and that also changes how we feel in that moment. So that's why I believe that there is a better way to address this, which is to have like general topics, so to speak. Like right now, I'm thinking like six different topics. One gonna be around like physical and mental health. Uh, the other one gonna be around finance. Finance, economy, businesses, and whatnot. So you name it. The third one gonna be around arts, which has like entertainment, music, and all the other art forms within it. The fourth one gonna be sports, because the world has so many sports, and we need that. And the fifth one will be around the the education, science. I would even include like philosophy and like the religion aspect within it, because all of that is kind of like a mixture of like the unknown, and education is just that, to kind of like get educate ourselves about the unknown. And the last topic and would be around the news, the politics, and all the other garbage, in just having this skin on top of like a my social media. People can choose which topic they actually want to dive into. So if they want to talk about politics and whatnot, they can just go in that, and they can see all the content related to that topic. Likewise, if they go to maybe uh, like a health chamber or bubble, then they'll see all the topics related to that particular niche. So I think that will be a healthier way to kind of consume social media, because then the people would be mindful about what kind of topics they want to like absorb. So if you're absorbing threats or topics about like economy and finance and how to scale up your business, and then you can make a conscious choice of like not going to any other bubble, and like keep reading more and more content around that, and that's going to motivate and influence you to take action within your own personal life, and it's going to lead you on a healthier path, rather than like the way we consume all the random tweets and all the random content together. It's a huge clusterfuck. But I'm gonna create or complete my prototype around that app, and hopefully live stream it soon, so we can play around with that and like add and see like where it takes us. Cool. So what damn it, this screen keep freezing. I don't know why. Okay, better. Okay, this seems to be like the top tweet. Is that what it means? What does this mean? I have no idea. Well, Reckless Commenter says the most depressing part is that social media only amplifies people's innate tendencies. Andrew Tate is a manifestation of two movements that long predated social media. The modern pickup artist movement began with Ross Jeffries in 91 with a nearly identical message to today. Women are simple sex objects who pursue men with power and wealth, and they can be fooled or manipulated into bed and then discarded. And the men's right movement or red pill cultural dates back to at least the 1970s. It developed as a reaction to feminism, and its current form retains much of the misogynistic core from that period. So, Andrew Tate is not just a vile, crude, gaudy, tasteless, immature, petty, idiotic, cruel, abusive sexual predators. He is also unoriginal. I don't get why people who have money like this don't just hire interior decorators. Surely they can see a difference between the mansions they've seen on TV or social media compared to their own ugly contraptions. Well, because he thinks he's better than anyone else at everything. He's that stupid shitbag you hear in a steakhouse that says, I could have cooked it better, when he's trying to look cool in front of his friends. But in this case, Andrew stepped on his own dick while trying to make sure everyone knows he's cooler than, check notes, 19-year-old environmental activist. The guy basically made a living being a toxic misogynist. Who would he think is qualified to decorate his home better than himself? Just goes to show that you can't buy taste. Right? I saw the word villa in all the headlines, and I always assumed a villa would look better, good, definitely more tasteful than let strips everywhere and boxy ass everything. Elon taught us money can't buy humor. Kanye taught us money can't buy sanity. Trump taught us money can't buy class. A lot of toxic rich people teaching us what money can't buy these days. That's a good comment. I'm gonna screenshot it. If you want to see an army of people who miss this point and say Andrew Tate is rich though, who cares? Go to the YouTube comment section of any video covering his arrest. No joke, they are literally saying he owned Greta and that he's already out from false charges. The copium they're huffing is unreal. Well, there's your first mistake. Go to the YouTube comment section. Well, don't even go to Twitter then. It's a house for cam shows. Pretty sure this is where he lives according to the news article. The cam show plays where he allegedly benefits from the hours put in by girls that are part of his human trafficking slash exploitation setup is about half a mile away. Andrew Tate detained in Romania over rape and human trafficking case. What a creep. Human depravity is everywhere. It looks like he lives in a fun house. Lived. It's wacky. It's fun. It's crazy. It's outrageous. Funhouse. It's a whole lot of fun. Prizes to be won. It's a real crazy show where anything can go. Funhouse. It's a quiz. It's a race. It's a real. It's a real wacky place. Use your body and your brain if you want to play the game. What? uh, I remember when I was super poor and whirled around and working around the clock as an apprentice chef. I got one day off a week, and it was pretty much washing my uniform and mending my shit for another week for months on end. I didn't get paid enough to pay rent, so I also was doing dodgy shit to pay bills, like sling herb and work a side gig on most Sundays as a kitchen hand. The only person who let me rent their house was insane. I couldn't afford a studio apartment, but this dude rented me a 3 bedroom for the cost of a studio, and I still couldn't pay that. Fucking rough times. Now I would have rented out the room, but I didn't think of that then either. I had no furniture, and when I finally upgraded my brick and plank of wood chair, TV table, and couch to actual pieces of furniture, most left in trash pickups, I finally felt like I had a house. I slept on a mattresses on the floor for like 6 years. So this is a lot of setup. But when I was playing GTA, I remember seeing a setup that was exactly like mine and feeling like, I was still human even though I lived like a complete fuck up. And then I noticed more that other places were nicer, but I actually prefer the smaller, homey places to the Ritz. Buying an apartment in GTA and not knowing what to do with 90% of the space is a real thing. That person who rented you the 3 bed for cheap, a real G. Oh yeah, completely insane though, would frequently come over to check my oven and fix my shower, which was also check my mail and do my lawns or hedges. It was a mixed bag. You were a house sitter that paid them basically. I knew a dude in Orlando back in 2001 that lived in a penthouse suite, 8 bedrooms. He had a couch, digital projector, big screen, no dishes or cookware, including glasses, one master bedroom furniture set, and a few ratty mattresses on the floor in few rooms. It was a mind fuck. That was a 5,000 a month condo too. Shiny exterior, empty interior. You see a lot. All right, let's move on to something else. Let's check out what else is happening. My boyfriend snores really loud and I sleep on the couch to try to get some sleep. I really don't like feeling like this. I don't either. I just wanted to get some sleep. I even told you I wasn't upset with you. That just needed to go to the couch to try and sleep. I communicated with you. I don't want to fight. And I had already told you that hurts my feelings. Then what should I do? Go to your house if you don't want to sleep next to me. Wow. Okay then. Yeah, that's an assholery. A graffited message I saw. Okay. What is it? What is it? What kind of paint are you using to paint over this? Because if it is a latex, it's probably way too cold for it. You want good adhesion? You need like at least 40 to 45 degrees. Maybe wait till it warms up a little. I mean, what's a big rush? Like, I'm in a rush now, but our situations are different. I didn't get it. It makes me really want to see the before and after. Probably something like that.
Switch and save $652. It's okay. There's enough for everyone.
Oh, interesting. People are trolls and fun, and people are awful and horrible too. So yeah, find right people. That's the lesson. Okay, let's see. What is this? Oh, roasted bud. In my office, top comments decide how I respond to this email. Okay. Are you out sick today and tomorrow, or was the hours on your timesheet an error? Be reminded that you cannot use sick time in lieu of vacation days. They are not interchangeable. Yes, out sick today and tomorrow, thank you. What is the sick time being taken for? In my office, we need to specify if the sick leave is being taken for illness or a medical appointment, or for caring for a family member, or maybe one of a few other reasons. So it's possible the supervisor needs to request additional information, but generally the only appropriate response from the supervisor is something like, okay, hope you feel better soon, because everything else can be handled later. I agree. Comrade John tweeted, my Five Guys closed. Nobody wants to work. Sign in the window. I guess the owner doesn't want to work either. If they get paid more than 5 times their regular employees, they should be worth more than 5 of his employees, and hence can do all the 5 of their jobs by themselves. Stop complaining, says billionaire investor Charlie Munger. Stop complaining. Everybody's 5 times better off than they used to be. You call off work at your minimum wage job because of this. What is your boss gonna say back? Southwest CEO Bob Jordan. So Qasim Rashid tweeted, as Southwest CEO Bob Jordan pretends to apologize. Remember, Southwest got a $7 billion federal bailout, spent $5.6 billion of that on stock buybacks, gave their CEO a raise of $9.1 million, and forced frontline workers into 16-hour shifts under threat of termination while spending $0 updating Southwest software. Southwest's debacle isn't an accident. It's the predictable result of billionaire and corporate corruption and greed, and thousands of workers and travelers are paying the price. In a just world, Southwest executives will face criminal charges. Yep, and we don't live in a just world. What the fuck is wrong with these people? Dave Jemison tweeted, a lot of folks were wondering who the 5 senators who voted against guaranteeing workers reasonable break time to pump breast milk. It passed 92 to 5. They were John Cornyn, Mike Lee, Pat Toomey, Ron Johnson, and Rand Paul. All Republicans, of course. No job is worth dying for. A conscious employer wouldn't have had employees come in during a snowstorm. Buffalo woman 22 dies in her car after getting trapped by a blizzard for 18 hours while driving home from work. Sent frenetic family terrifying final video of vehicle stuck in deep snow as wind howled outside. That's deep. My sister got caught in a blizzard in Buffalo at 2 p.m. yesterday. She was still stuck at 11 p.m. last night. Now she's lost under the snow and no one can find her. I got this pain in my stomach. Sorry to hear that. I guarantee the employer's response is going to make a safety video on how to stock your vehicle for winter emergencies. Completely ignore their complicity and keep the same work expectations during the next deadly storm. They blame her for this. I don't know how they do it. If I was a manager in this situation, I'd be completely crushed over the idea that I might have gotten someone killed. I'm the manager of my department, and I'll be damned before I let someone drive to work in dangerous conditions. I tell people the night before not to risk it. It's always presented as providing excellent customer service to our clients, but whenever we have had to go in during snowstorms, they either assume we are not working, or every contact is asking us why we are working in a storm. I'm glad you're a good manager at least. My old job was a family-run business. The last acting president, son of the original owner, got into a car accident driving in during a storm and became paralyzed from the neck down. Want to know what the new acting president, son in law of the owner, did during every snowstorm? Demanded we all drive in and stay in the office even when it had no power and no heat. His office had heat and power because of a generator though. Only the family members got heat and power. He also expected us to stay the whole shift even when the state declared it a state of emergency because state of emergencies are for government officials, not private businesses. He also has issues with Caesars and had the ambulance called so many times they stated if he had one more he'd lose his license to drive. Guess what he did when he had another one? Tell everyone they are not allowed to call 911. And when he stopped breathing and one of the employees did CPR on him until the ambulance came, he then denied that employee for a raise and promotion and was mad the ambulance was called. Most bosses don't care about us. We are nothing more than a means to an end. Our lives meant quite literally nothing to my old boss. I know for a fact he would let us all freeze to death for a $1 before letting us be safe. It seems like that employee acting purely selfishly would have been better off letting him die. That seems like a bad lesson to teach your employees. Yeah, he quit shortly after, but the whole team was pretty shocked he would have turned him down in the first place. I mean, he was a good worker and already had the time booked to request a raise and have a review before the whole episode occurred, but we all thought he was definitely get a raise after saving his life. I know because I left he had another episode, and one of the more senior employees not related to the family said something along the lines of, God let the asshole die. Maybe then they could hire a president who knows how to run a company and isn't just related to their stupid family. Which would probably have been best because they were running the company into the ground. We worked in the automotive industry, and this man regularly spelled vehicle and license wrong. He also had no experience before getting a job in the family business after marrying the owner's daughter. There was a running joke he should have stayed a florist because all that was in his head was dirt. Jesus Christ, what a story. Wow, glad you left that shit show. Oh, yeah, I left that place after they wanted me to do three different jobs for minimum wage and told me I needed to quit my other part time jobs that paid me more because I needed to show loyalty and be devoted to the company. I really hope that place closes and they all go bankrupt. It would be the perfect karma for those assholes. Are there any UK versus US differences where you feel America gets it right? Let's check this out. This is gonna be good. Are there any UK versus US differences where you feel America gets it right? Spellings, customs, the way they write the date. There are many curiosities about those strangers across the Atlantic that annoy us, or just leaves us scratching our heads. But are there any occasions where you think, we are wrong, they're right? For bonus points, which difference angers you the most? I'll go first. I prefer the American pronunciation of lieutenant. It more accurately represents the number of times the letter F appears. My biggest annoyance is that we caved in and adopted their spelling of sulfur and their definition of billion as 10 to the power 9 rather than 10 to the power 12. Several states have legalized cannabis, which I think is more progressive than the UK. Unfortunately, I'll be surprised if it's ever legalized in the UK in my lifetime. I wholeheartedly agree. It's strange considering how just 20 something years ago the US were more vehemently prohibitionist than the UK. I hope we see legalization in my lifetime. At the very least, I would like to not be criminalized for my use. I don't hurt anyone. I just want to ease my goddamn back pain. Selecting your major a year or even more into your university degree instead of having to pick a subject when you're applying with little to no flexibility to switch later on. Oh, I didn't know UK has this. I mean, this is one of the things I love about US university system. The Scottish system, at least a few universities, works like a cross between the two. At least at my university, you apply for a degree subject, but you also take two other subjects in the first year. One of them has to be in the same broad field as your degree subject. That is another science or humanities subject, but the third can be anything. Then you continue on with two of those subjects in second year and just the one in your remaining years. So you don't necessarily need to have a lot of breadth, but you have that flexibility for quite a while, especially for subjects you don't see as often at school. It's not a bad idea, but it's important to be aware that the UK system is more focused and advanced at A level. So a US student may go to university not having done calculus at all, for example, and partly as a result of that, a typical bachelor's degree takes 4 years rather than three. So a lot of the courses they might take in that introductory year would be something similar to a foundation year here. The older Scottish universities do something similar, or did anyway. You're not committed to a particular honors subject until end of year second year or start of the third year, though your choice will be somewhat constrained by the courses you took in the first 2 years. I feel the opposite. At the end of A levels, I had had enough of general education. If I had to go on do more English, sciences, etc., I may not have decided to go to university at all. I also think it wouldn't work as well here because A level seems to be a bit more, well, educational than American high school. So there's less need for the more general subjects in higher education. As a construction worker, the ability to get to put a line on the house or property of a person that hasn't paid out for your work, this line shows up on all credit reports, meaning they couldn't even get a phone contract out until you've been paid for your work. Still has to go through the local courts to pass, but at least you'll actually get your money, unlike the bullshit small claims we have here. We have those in Scotland, at least. This exists in England and Wales. It's a charging order after a CCJ. Maybe their American dream. Whoa, you go, Chad. You can be the president of the United States of America. Ambition and confidence. I think our, probably realistic a lot of time, negatively holds a lot of working class people back. Always get downvoted for it, but Brits have a crippling ambition deficit. What? Uh, I'm not downvoting. I definitely have an ambition deficit. I'm quite happy as I am. Achieving more seems like a lot of work, and there's nothing worse than work. Surprise, we came close to a world conquest run despite lack of ambition. That's a good one. I think that's the reason why we tend to keep our heads down now. It's the same reason we don't wave the flag around outside of sporting events, and the correct relationship with being British is a sense of mild embarrassment. We avoid nationalism like the plague in case we get all the overexcited and forget ourselves and invade Africa and half of the Asia again. I disagree. I don't think most people are embarrassed enough about being British. All the ambitious people got shot in the wars. You're what's left. American here, but I read this funny quote that said something to the effect of British food and women made the men excellent sailors. What? Okay. All right. Let's jump on to some other thread. What are the other differences? Come on. Oh, maybe I'm in the wrong place. Water on tables in restaurant turning left at road junctions. If it's clear. Water on tables in restaurants is pretty much the norm, no? Always ask for water for the table and it's never something that is charged. Ah, damn it, why is it opening in a new window? I think their point was that over here you have to ask, whereas in the US the customer service is just so much better, even at quite basic chain restaurants. When I was managing a bar or restaurant, I tried to get the floor staff into the habit of suggesting water for the table as soon as they sit down. I always got a jug and glasses ready so there is no wait. Gives all of us a bit more time and the customer isn't sat at an empty table spitting feathers while they wait for the cocktails. Customer service is better in the US because the waiters have to be your bitch to earn a livable wage. As someone who has lived in the UK for 3 plus years, customer service is almost always better in any other country I've been to than the UK. The customer service wasn't much different on the east coast of the US than it is up north in the UK from my personal experience. All this fuss about the amazing service in the US felt like a total myth. I'm not sure where people are eating in the UK, but I can only think of once or twice in my life where I've had awful customer service. I live in the US East Coast, and there's nothing wrong with the customer service here. I've lived all over the country, and it's just as good here as elsewhere. Obviously, there are people that give crap service, but I wouldn't say it's the norm. I never said anything was wrong with it. It was good and everyone was nice. I've just also had this experience in the UK as well. All right, customer service. That's the other key. Salaries. The UK salaries are absolutely abysmal compared to salaries for the same role in the US. It's essentially impossible to be more than well off in the UK purely through receiving a salary. Not sure how income tax works in the US, but I detest how low the UK's 40% tax ban is now when taking into account inflation. Until Brits become ruthless job hoppers, will never change. Average software dev salary in the UK is like £45,000. Meanwhile, US devs talks about $100,000 plus salaries like it's normal. On the other hand, cost of living is a lot lower here, and having to pay ridiculous sums of health insurance even it out much more than you think despite the big headline salary difference. When I lived in the States, no joke, it felt like I was handing out money to everybody all day. You can spend $100 a day on fuck all very easily. Kind of true. Where do people get this impression that the cost of living is a lot lower here? It's obviously geographical considering US is a country of 300 mil with a larger landmass than Europe, but in the densely populated areas, UK cost of living is just as extortionate. Have you seen food prices in the US? A box of dozen eggs is currently pushing $10. Food is insanely cheap here compared to the US. That offsets a lot of cost. Couple that with insurance premiums, out of pocket medical expenses, etc., and the gap isn't as big as you think. My man, I'm here from and I'm from the US. I don't know where you're getting this idea that we pay $10 for a dozen eggs, but that's insanity and it's not remotely true. For reference, I live in Alaska, which typically has higher food cost, and I paid $2.30 for a dozen eggs. Well, unless that's free range, it's not comparable. It would actually be more effort to find eggs from caged hens. Even supermarket owned brands are free range. I'm in the Midwest in the US, also from all. I just bought eggs yesterday for $5.89 a dozen, not $10, but they haven't been $2.30 for a long time unless there is a big sale going on. Standard going price in my area hasn't been $2 since 2015 or 16. My old colleague in Boston must have photoshopped the picture he put on Facebook. Then SOC. SOC. What is SOC? By the way, what is all? National parks. You have all facilities you need. Toilets, showers, barbecue, bear spray, station. Okay. I'm sure there are like house sizes. I've seen an American closet the size of British spare bedrooms. I just wish British houses were bigger with my whole being. The way they write the date. The US 100% does not get that correct. Not as the UK, in a world where computers are basically involved in 95% of all stuff. Which is why we have an ISO date format which works perfectly. In human to human interaction, the ISO standard is the worst format though. Sure, for storing files or timestamps in code, it's great, but on human legible documents, it presented the information on increasing levels of importance, that is, least important piece of information first. The OP said the way the write the date annoys us or leaves us scratching our heads. Didn't say they get it right. The UK is fine. The Swedes are fine. The Americans are fucking wrong. There is a subreddit for ISO 8601. That's what they said. They included that in the baffling stuff they do. What is this? ISO 8601 in the wild on the Lisbon Metro. Yeah. Even airports don't use 24 hours times in the US. If you guys use year, month, or date, how do you say the date in words? 1st of January 2023. Wow, Reddit is amazing with like so many different type of subreddits. There's a subreddit for ISO 8601. Reformatted to ISO and then had to find out why we had records from the future. Why did people make it so that the conventional date systems, month, date, years, and date, month, year, can't be accurately interpreted if the day is below 13 and you don't know which format is being used? Oh, no stupid questions. Why did people make it so that the conventional date systems can't be accurately interpreted if the day is below 13 and you don't know which format is being used? They developed those systems independently and then designed them to distinguishable. If you want a clear date, I recommend year, month, and date. I love year, month, date for the simple fact that if you sort by alphanumerical order, much more commonly supported, you get chronological order for free. Yeah, true. We use it at work for file names. It's such an easy solution to getting a unique file name too, especially if you add the time on there. Don't worry, the phone manufacturers and the mobile networks have you covered. You'll have the latest version of their phones shoved in your face and your arm twisted before you've taken 10,000 photos. Also, I like how it moves from year, month, and date in order of largest unit to smaller, which is also why I prefer month date if year is excluded. Date, month, year is a bad order, but at least it goes in the same direction, smallest to biggest. Month, date, year is absolutely stupid, but since I'm an American, it's the one I use the most. Year, month, date is the best and what we should all use. The reason I don't prefer date, month, year is suppose I have to add hours, minutes, and seconds. I would have to add it in the beginning to maintain order. That somehow doesn't sit right with me. Well, only until year 9999, then we are screwed again. By that time, it will be no longer a problem. That's what they said by last time. 640k of memory will always be enough, except this time our refers to the human race. There will be addendum to this that convention and year 10,000 will be represented as 8000. And finally, C triple nine represent year 35,999. Yeah, I honestly prefer the human era calendar where we could just add like 10,000 years to our existing date. That's it. So I consider that we are living in the year 12,022 human era. And within a day, yeah, within less than 48 hours, we'll be moving into year 12,023. And I like that format for multiple reasons because, first of all, it focuses on what uh, was important, like from human civilization standpoint, and about 12,000 years back, we had one of the earliest civilization known to us. So that kind of marks or if I rephrase it, like the oldest civilization known to us um, is 12,000 years old. So it seems practical to just add that 10,000 years to our everyday calendar and honor the the culture, the past culture on which our current culture is, you know, it's pretty much built. And yeah, it it's gonna be. I don't know if that ever gonna change. Hopefully, a lot of people get behind that goal and we modify this thing for once and all, and create this standard year. I mean, if I'm being honest, then we can try create like this year which actually points to our current understanding of universe, right? Like 14 billion years old, right? So, but that would be crazy to use like in everyday life. So that's why we know that Earth was formed like maybe 3-4 billion years back, but we can't use that as as a year for our practical purposes. So I think the good way would be to use the human era calendar and make it a norm so that moving forward we honor the humans um, as a um, collective entity, if you will, and it's gonna be good. All right, but change are not easy. I mean, personal changes are not easy. Neither are the changes at the world level, global level, right? So it takes long time to kind of uh, to transit from one change to the other, and at a personal level, I'm trying to figure out how to shorten that state, right? Like from getting to the state where I'm uncomfortable about something to a state where I'm comfortable about the same thing. And a lot of it is definitely the mindset. For sure, there's like a lot of experience and skills and um, self self teaching process, or maybe even like self belief into a particular thing is needed and important. But at the same time, we have control over some of these things, right? Like we can change the mindset. If something is making you feel uncomfortable right now, you can change your mindset around that and try to see or try to find comfort in the present situation. In other words, try to be grateful for the present situation. And I know it's difficult to feel great gratitude towards the universe, especially if you're going through some challenging times. And trust me, I am. And uh, but at the same time, there are core truths of this reality, and um, whenever you encounter any of those truths, that will shock you. That will try to kind of uh, change how you look at the world for sure. I know I'm talking in circles here, but the point I'm trying to make is that no matter what kind of situation you're going through, there is something to be grateful about. And even if you're not feeling gratitude towards anything or anyone, try to express your gratitude about maybe the air you're breathing right now, or maybe the food you're eating right now. So it doesn't have to be like a granular gratitude towards like someone or something. It could be like the basic gratitude, and I feel that it's important because it shapes our worldview, and that actually makes us feel if the life is fulfilling or empty. And uh, and to be completely honest, I'm not there yet where I feel that life is fulfilling from all aspects. I feel emptiness of life every single day, now more than ever. But at the same time, I also try to express my gratitude about the basic things in my life whenever I can, so that I can build on that instead of like feel discouraged and depressing all the time. But that being said, we are we are entering into a new year, so I hope that this year brings new insights and new uh, energy into what we want to achieve. And I wish that everyone achieves their dreams as long as it's not intruding or infringing on someone else's dream. Wish that everyone find peace and fulfillment within their life. And at the very least, I wish I could find that. But yeah, this has been an interesting stream, and I'm half halfway down my drink, so I'm kind of feeling it a little tipsy, and also the weed helps. But we're gonna do this again on Monday, if not earlier. So stay tuned. Yeah, tune in, and